Mayor Nic Hunter, Nichunter.
Yes, sir. Can you talk a little bit about today's events and what you saw today?
I'll tell you, today's event was beautiful, and it was something the city needed, something we need to see more of around this country. There was so much unity, so much communication, so much love. What inspired me the most is this event was the brainchild of some young men in their late teens, early 20s. And it is just amazing to see this young generation really come alive right now in this time in history. And this generation is not the generation of tomorrow. They're the generation of right now. And they're doing some amazing things right now, and I'm just so honored to be a part of it.
Again, just piggyback off of that, how awesome is it to see the youth kind of step up and take the initiative?
Every young person, young adult in this city, in Lake Charles, is just as much a citizen and just as much a part of this city as anyone else. And they need to know that they have a voice. And events like this are their reaffirmation to the rest of this community that they do have a voice and they can make things happen. There was a lot of impressive individuals in that room tonight, and I'm not even talking about myself. There's a lot of attorneys, a lot of elected officials, a lot of movers and shakers in the community that were in that room tonight. And again, this was the brainchild of two young men who probably were just sitting around one day and got inspired by God to put this together. And look what happened. Look what God did. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. And I know the big thing right now in Lake Charles is the debate about the monument. What is your stance about the monument, and what do you think we should do with it?
Well, look, I made the statement yesterday, and I think it speaks for itself. I'll tell you that I prayed long and hard about it, and I think it was the right thing to do for me, just as a Christian, as a human, and I don't regret what I said. I support what I said, and I would encourage people that want to see the whole statement. It's on the news websites, and it's also online, and I real clearly, I think, laid out what my thoughts were, and they were genuine thoughts, and they were from the heart.
Absolutely. How can Lake Charles come together? How can we get away from all the bickering and batter? How can we come together as a community?
Events like this are a great start for us to come together. Communication, understanding is important. It's important that people realize there is not one definition of our community. There is not one experience of our community. My experience, my definition of Lake Charles is completely different from what someone else's might be. I have to realize that. I have to realize that I grew up in this city and I had certain things happen to me and had certain people impact me, and that's a different life course than someone else had in this city.
Absolutely.
So when we realize that our voice is not the only voice out there, our experience is not the only experience out there, that's where we start to build bridges. That's where we start to increase communication and understanding.
Absolutely.
And realize that when we're talking about complex problems, our mind is not the only mind that we should be consulting. It should be a diverse group of minds that we bring together at the table. And there's some topics right now in this community that if we were closed-minded, individuals in positions of influence, they would only be consulting with themselves. They wouldn't be reaching out across the aisle. They wouldn't be reaching out to a diverse cross-section of the community and saying, hey, let's come together and talk about this. What do you think about this? How does this affect you? Anytime we have something that's complex like that, we've got to ask more than just how does this affect me? What do I think about this? We've got to ask, how does this affect you? What do you think about this?
And I know voting is coming up, and just touch on just the importance of everybody coming out and participating.
Absolutely. Voting is how we have our voice. Voting is how we choose to either tell someone they're doing a good job or they're not doing a good job. And that's a very personal and sacred honor that a lot of people fought and died and bled for so that we could have equity in voting and a more egalitarian system in America. It wasn't always that way. So we have to cherish it, and I encourage especially our young people, don't think that just your one vote can't make a difference. It absolutely can. We have seen some recent elections in Lake Charles where one vote, literally one vote, could be the difference between this person, that person being in that office.
Any final message for the people of Lake Charles?
Man, I think you did a great job. You asked all the good questions. Okay?
Hey, thank you.
Brother. Good to see you, man.
Thank
Take
you.
care.